To evade police pursuit, the thug casually tossed a bag of flour into the hands of a retired elderly man, a scene completely unseen by law enforcement. Thus, on his retirement day, the old man received an unexpected gift. Afterward, not only did he refrain from reporting it, but he actually returned the goods to the gangsters. Seeing that the recipient was a man well past 50, the gang leader was utterly stunned. The elderly woman then revealed her purpose. She wished to join their operation and sell flour alongside them. The gang leader was stunned once more. She continued, explaining that her age made her ideal for the job. Since all his associates were on police watch lists, her lack of criminal history would make her an ideal front. Authorities would never suspect an elderly woman of flour trafficking. The boss found this reasoning compelling and promptly cut off a kilogram of flour for her trial run. Naturally, this was a probationary period where she'd only receive a 10% cut of profits. Once this batch sold out and passed the boss's inspection, she could increase her share to 20%. Without hesitation, the elderly woman agreed. Truthfully, the boss was merely testing the waters. To his surprise, the elderly woman soon became the top salesperson for the entire gang. Upon returning home, she followed instructions to divide the flour into 5-gram packets, but the substance was rock hard. Even a chainsaw proved useless. She finally crushed it with a bone-chopping knife. Once the flour was packaged, a new problem arose. When the old man met with the gang boss, he seemed to have forgotten to ask the selling price. Left with no choice, he turned to his son-in-law, a narcotics officer, for information. Asking directly would be unwise, so the old man pretended to be curious about his son-in-law's work. Nick, completely unsuspecting, led his mother-in-law into the archives room. There, the old man found exactly the same type of flour he had been dealing with.
Ça va chercher dans les combien, ça?
200 à 250 000 euros. Grosse prise de service.
Trame à combien tout ça?
Her son-in-law instantly grew suspicious. Realizing she'd said too much, the old woman hurriedly excused herself. Now that everything was ready, finding buyers became the new challenge. With no other options, she ventured into the gangsters' hangout to try her luck. She disguised herself and approached people, asking if they wanted some flour. The thugs, suspecting she was an undercover cop trying to lure them into a trap, dared not respond. Persevering, the old woman finally found her first buyer. With this initial transaction, the petty criminals realized she wasn't a cop. Because her goods were high quality and generously portioned, more and more repeat customers sought her out. Soon, her first batch of goods sold out. When she delivered the payment to the gang boss, everyone present was stunned. True to their agreement, he gave her a 10% cut. Impressed by her resourcefulness, the boss handed her a larger shipment on the spot. The old woman believed she could afford a sports car within months, yet disaster struck the moment she stepped out of the gangster's apartment. A nearby drug-sniffing dog locked onto her, tearing at her bag like a mad beast. Fortunately, her son-in-law Nick was nearby and intervened, preventing tragedy. To ensure her safety, Nick thoughtfully carried her bag and escorted her home. In the days that followed, the old woman became a regular at the local hangout for thugs. The place was a rough neighborhood with terrible security, but this environment was perfect for her drug dealing. With